Good thing about reducing weight: improve your acceleration, reduce your braking distance, reduce your fuel consumption. You can also improve the ride of the car and the grip. Reducing weight on a road-going Mini, not for the racetrack, no race cars here. If you can reduce your rotating mass, that will reduce how much power it takes to accelerate and decelerate. You don't need my help to find some aftermarket wheels that are light. You can walk into any mag tyre store and pick up a set there. I'll focus more on the original factory wheels. S-spoke or S-light, if you like. That's probably the most common one, and I must say it's my favorite looking wheel. It's like a mini light type wheel, the 17-inch, but it's a porker. They're heavy. The combined wheel tyre weight for my ones with the Bridgestone run flats were 21.8 kilograms per corner. It's pretty hard to exceed that, to be honest. So there's lots of options that are lighter. These can be picked up secondhand. They're generally of good quality. For the Mini, at least, there were so many different types. And there's some nice resources that have been set up online that list off the individual weights of the wheels. And I've left a link to those in the description below. 17-inch wheel. This is the R99, about 10 kilograms. This tyre, however, the Laufin, relatively cheap. It does have good dry weather grip. Weighs somewhere between 7 and 8 kilograms. So together they're weighing just over 17 kilograms. Much lighter than the original run flats on the S-lights. Generally speaking, smaller, lighter. The 15-inch rims are 5.5 inches wide, and they're typically about 6 to 7 kilograms, so really light. Going up to the 16-inch wheels, those are 6.5 inches wide, and they're a lot heavier. They're 8 to 9.5 kilograms. One of the lightest ones from the factory was the X-Light, and they're about 8 kilograms per wheel. The other consideration there are your brakes. R53 brake, so that's the bigger brakes. You need 17-inch to cover those. Some 16s will cover it. If you did go all the way to a 15-inch wheel, what do you lose? Steering feel and feedback. Another part of rotating mass is your flywheel. When the clutch wore out, I went from a dual mass to a single mass flywheel. Only shaved about 1 kilogram off. Unsprung mass, that's both your wheel, your hub, and everything on the wheel side of the spring. The light of the car, the more important this is. Big heavy wheels on a small light car, more of the bump gets transmitted to the car. When you change to a lighter wheel, you actually get a better ride. Not only that, you get a tyre that remains in contact with the ground. It can rise up and down over those bumps. Now the trailing arm and the knuckle are combined on the Mini, so you replace all of them from the steel one, originally fitted to the R53, to the alloy one fitted to the GP one and the R56 models. Putting that on the R53, that saves about 2.2 kilograms unsprung weight on each side of the rear. Now what about the sprung mass, the total weight of the car? Sky's the limit there, of course. You could rip the whole interior out. Firstly, the battery. Nearly 17 kilograms. Replaced it with this one. This one's a little bit lighter. Let's put them side by side. Okay, you get a sense how much smaller that is now. We'll put it on the scales. 7.9. 330 cold cranking amps compared to 720. This one's actually made for ride-on lawnmowers, U1RMF. So can that tiny little battery actually start this engine? Remember, the Cooper S being supercharged, it's lower compression on a little 1.6 motor. And we don't really get cold weather like North America here. I'll need to run a trickle charger more often if this gets left. Works for me, won't necessarily work for you. And there's room for a pump. I'm not running run flats, so I have a pump in there and I have a patch kit. This is a standard Cooper S exhaust. There's the two tips coming out of the back. Because the battery is in the middle here, the exhaust goes into that resonator, back out into the muffler, and the twin pipes come out here. Popular modification is to cut this off here and run a pipe across, short circuit that one, and delete the resonator. I'm not too interested in making it louder, but there is weight savings in deleting this one. 8 kilograms does make it louder around town, especially on the open road. It's more drony. It's not rotating mass. It's not unsprung mass. Power steering. Yep, if you want to delete that, you can save about 9.5, 10 kilograms. Delete the whole thing. That it's heavy around when you're maneuvering slowly. It also loads up under hard cornering. It's the way it is, so I'm sticking with power steering. Air conditioning, if you can live without that, you could potentially save 9 kilograms. That's not something I'm willing to give up, but that's an option. On the Cooper S, the manual is about 20 kilograms lighter than the automatic. The sunroof itself weighs about 25 kilograms, so it must be at least 20 kilograms heavier. This more relates to which car you choose to buy. I've approached it in a way where I've tried to use factory original options. I took mine through the weighbridge for the 1,260 kilograms with some rubbish in there. So accounting for that, 1,150 kilograms with a quarter of a tank of petrol in there. Those little changes, they do add up. The car drives a lot better. It feels a lot more nimble. Just more fun to drive. It's smoother over the bumps, handles well. Running without run flats to save weight, you're going to need a pump and a patch kit. Let's compare these two options. One you can buy from AliExpress, one that I got off Marketplace. Okay, we'll do a comparison. Both are starting from just under 10 psi and see how long they take to pump it up to 25. Okay, we pull that out, that turns it on. We've got a white light here, that means it's more than 50% charged. We just change how many psi we want on here. Okay, so that's now changed to showing the measured. This one, big long lead going to the battery. Go for you. And well, that was quick. 25 psi. Both performed perfectly well. This one took about 30 seconds. This one took about 3.5 minutes. If you gain in inflation time with this pump, you'll lose in folding away all of this wire. Comparing the weights, he weighs about 500 grams. And what does this one weigh? Just over 1.5 kilograms. That'll pump the tyre up, but how do you actually fix the hole in the tyre? This is what I keep in the car as a puncture repair kit. Pliers to pull out whatever's stuck in the tyre, and a screwdriver to drive in your puncture repair. And they're a little metal screw, a glob of glue around them essentially. And I've got a couple of different sizes in here. I won't jack up the car, I'll roll the car forward until I can see the screw or nail or whatever it is that's poking through the tyre, pull it out and screw one of these in. This is the jack for the Mini, so I'll leave that at home. This is your more conventional puncture repair kit. I'm sure these do a better job and last longer. I'm not sure I'd be able to do one of these puncture repairs on the side of the road without taking the wheel off. That's it, just a few tips and ideas. Weight reduction on the Mini, it's a journey, not a destination. I've pointed out some pretty big gains you can make fairly easily. Once you go past those big easy gains, those last few grams start getting very expensive. Race car stuff. Hope that's useful. Check out the comment section. I'm sure you guys have got some great ideas here. And I'll leave some links in the description.